What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Magician. Gemini, Virgo energy at the foundation of the reading. Okay, so right now we are coming out of this 8-8 Lionsgate portal. We're also on the tail end of Mercury retrograde, and we're also coming out of this full moon period this past weekend. And there's a massive manifestation right on the horizon line for a lot of you here. Most of you are going to know what this is. It's something that you've been working towards, whether it's a project, something having to do with your career, or it could just be some sort of personal triumph that you were preparing to have. There's something here, and it's quite big. The fact that we have the Magician at the foundation of my reading, at the root chakra, this is something that is going to be felt, it's something that's going to be seen, and it's something that could potentially shift your entire foundation and or circumstances. In other words, this will have a top-down effect over your entire life. And it has to do with some sort of vision that you've had for yourself, for your life, for your future. But it's only being made possible because you finally understand that there's actually nothing you need to attain in order to pull this off. So what does that mean? Well, when a lot of people are going down, let's say, a path of trying to manifest something into their life, they're typically looking outside of themselves for things that they think they need to be able to pull the manifestation through. And sure, depending on what it is, maybe this can have a psychological effect of getting you in the right mindset. But the real tools that you need to pull this manifestation through are very rarely going to be found outside of you. It's going to be found inside of you. As we are incarnated into these life cycles, we are bombarded with so many energies from the point of inception. The first breath we take, there seems to be some sort of energy that is working overtime to make sure that we do not fulfill our destiny. Now, I feel that that's really just the third density and the way it works. It wants to keep people stuck and stagnated inside a lower vibrational energy because there seems to be something about the third density that is parasitical in nature. It's almost as if it feeds off of our light. And so we're going to be birthed into these environments that are a direct reflection of that. It's almost as if these energies are working for some sort of outside force unknowingly. It really is just the nature of the reality that we live in here. And I truly feel that this is the whole reason why we are even here to begin with. Now, with this in mind, as you make your way down your path throughout your life, you become an adult, you've had many experiences, you've gone through all sorts of traumas, highs and lows, you've done it all. And all of these things that you have experienced throughout your life create energetic weight, baggage, sorts of burdens, whether they're mental, physical, spiritual, whatever they are. So when you are preparing to manifest something that is in alignment with your destiny, like I mentioned, the focus needs to be on what lies within. A lot of these events that we go through on our path are what need to be healed and released. These things can create cracks. They can create cracks in our auric field, especially the traumas. Traumas that are left unchecked, things that we just sweep up under the rug, are always going to be the first areas of your life that Spirit is going to want you to focus on to be able to pull through your manifestations. Because not only will these manifestations come through with a bit more ease, but there's also a healing factor, a protective factor that comes with this as well. You know, when people are trying to attack you energetically, whether they're consciously aware of this or not, which is a very deep subject matter, these energetic intrusions, let's just say, are always going to find their way in through the cracks in your auric field. Now, like I just mentioned, the traumas that we go through on our path are what create these little cracks. Think of them as little fissures, little dents. A lot of us don't even really know they're there. You know, the way I'm putting it is just a more complex way of saying, hey, you have some healing you need to do, and you need to stop sweeping this up under the rug. But spiritually speaking, it shows up the way that I'm explaining it. Now, when these energetic intrusions try to make their way into your life, they're going to weasel through those little cracks, through your weaknesses. We're not expected to be fully healed. Nobody is. It's completely impossible to fully heal yourself from every single little trauma that you have gone through on your path. We just have to be aware, self-aware enough to stop those cracks from spreading and what caused them, right? So if we know that we have gone through some sort of trauma in our life and we're self-aware enough to just be in a space where we are maintaining ourselves and protecting ourselves from succumbing to any sort of trauma in that space again, then we can hold back any sort of energetic intrusions and attacks. Spirit is guiding all of us to focus on the areas of our life that could be seen as our personal kryptonite. Now, kryptonite is a fictional substance that was known for being Superman's weakness. And what's interesting is it's actually a radioactive material that originated from Superman's home planet, which, when you think about, is kind of profound. Something from his home planet was his weakness. There's something much deeper going on there. Now, when we apply this to our own lives, it can start to make a bit more sense, especially when we are touching on the areas of life that involve healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing, mental healing, whatever it is for you. What do we have at the sacral, please? Six of Cups, Scorpio energy at the sacral. Now, a lot of you may be feeling, well, it almost feels like an energy circling you, like it's on the sidelines, like it's waiting, it's just watching, it's looking for an opening, it's trying to penetrate your auric field. But when you're really solid in your life, when you're being disciplined in whatever areas of your life, maybe where you hold weaknesses, it makes it very difficult for this energy to make it through. See, as soon as you lower your guard in, say, an area that has been problematic for you, and there's many different ways this can show up. It's going to be different for each one of you. But typically, it's going to always be behavioral patterns, mindsets, people, addictions, all of these things. I always talk about this stuff because it's very important. The more aware we are of these things and really just ourselves and how we tick, the quicker we can pull through our manifestations. See, just a little side note here. You're actually the keeper of time in your own reality. You're the one that says when your manifestations are going to come through, because it's all based on how much work you're willing to do in the here and now. Okay, so if you're constantly putting things off, you're just putting off your manifestations. But if you're working tirelessly inside of a space to pull through that manifestation, then it's going to come through in a more accelerated fashion. Now, yes, there is divine timing, but we program our entire reality based on how we are interfacing with it. So with that said, we actually have a huge influence on how divine timing works in our life. We have access to all these different timelines based on the decisions we're making right now in this very moment. So when we're making decisions that are aligned with our highest good, then we're aligning with an outcome that pulls through a reality that holds the vision of our highest good. And this sees you being in the driver's seat of your own reality. You are manifesting and co-creating with the divine. You are the keeper of time. See, there's timing and there's divine timing. Now, timing is what we hold ourselves to in our reality, and divine timing is basically the divine's clock. But when you are in alignment with your highest good by making decisions that is based on this divine timing, you very much can be in control of that space as well. Now, what I'm getting with this Six of Cups here is interesting, because quite often when I look at this Six of Cups, I see this vision here. And in some cases, to me, it feels like some sort of fantasy, a kind of dream. But there's something kind of off about it. It's like an energy that is trying to keep you engaged in a karmic cycle that can be seen as a sort of loop in your life. It's a kind of broken record. It's like a scene that you see in a horror movie that just keeps repeating over and over, and somebody's trapped inside of it. That's what I'm getting here. And this sort of energy can show up most commonly within the people that you engage with in your reality. Family members, people you date. Now, I'm getting something here in regards to an individual or individuals that you have recently been made aware of that are trying to keep you in some sort of lower vibrational timeline that doesn't see you elevating and evolving into this next chapter of your life. Now, your awareness of this, the kind of illumination that this is taking place in your life, is also uncovering some other things as well that you have always felt but not been able to fully put into words. It's like coming from a time in your life where it feels like the entire universe is working against you, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you try to better yourself or just be a good person, there's something up. It almost feels like you've been dealt a bad hand in life and you just conclude that, oh, well, I guess this is just the life I'm supposed to live. But what's taking place here is a realization that, no, this wasn't true at all. There was actually something taking place. Now, as you're moving forward on your path and you are working with spirit and that divine timing, and you're starting to see some sort of movement, there's this exposure, there's this unearthing of things that have taken place in the past, these traumas, these events, whatever it may be. They're coming up for review. Spirit is saying, hey, look, we need to heal this so we can move you forward because you're carrying too much energetic weight and baggage. We need to make sure that you are the correct vibration to be able to step into this new timeline. So we're going to have to go over some things here. And during this period of time, which I feel a lot of you are in right now, Spirit gives you a different sort of vantage point, different perspective over a lot of these situations that you have dealt with throughout your life, and you're starting to see them a little bit differently. You're starting to see where you might have had some sort of energetic intrusion get through without your knowledge, which on one hand can be a huge sense of relief, but then on another hand comes with it the weight and the understanding that there was some sort of force that was working against you and it was showing up in your environment, the people. And that in and of itself is probably the biggest part of this healing journey, because this right here is a complete breaking down of your entire reality and how you interface with it. From this moment forward, you can't look at life the same way you once did. You very much see that we are in an energetic universe, whether we are in the third density or not. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, but it very much is. And it holds authority over the third density as well, which can be very challenging if you are not on the right side of the fence or you're not being open-minded enough to understand that there are other forces at play. Now, you can very much use this to your advantage once you have a better understanding of how this goes. You see, we mentioned that these opposing energies are going to come for certain kinds of weaknesses. They're going to look for those cracks in your auric field, the mindsets, the behavioral patterns, the weird little addictions, or the old unhealed wound. See, they're not creating really a new wound. They're trying to rip open the old ones wider so you just give up. It's like they just want to pour salt on the wounds that you already have. So now, this brings us full circle to part of this message here, in that we should have a good enough understanding based on what I'm saying here to see why it's so important that we address those wounds, or, well, dress the wounds, right? Again, you don't need to be fully healed. It's not about being flawless. It's about knowing where you're fractured, knowing that there's a crack there. And that attention that you put on that space, well, it's really half the battle. You see, your awareness is the tourniquet that keeps you from bleeding out, metaphorically speaking. So with this Six of Cups here, it's very important. What do we have, the solar plexus? It's very important that, I just heard, you're auditing your environment, the people in it, people that may be trying to get back into your energy, and understanding that there's much more going on there than what there appears to be on the surface level. Okay? So, in other words, it's important right now that you're really protecting your energy and not allowing just any old person to come into your life and lay some sort of unnecessary baggage on you, okay? Because although we only have 2 cards on the table, this says it all. Magician, that's where you're at. You're in high manifestation mode. Spirit is showing you right now that you already have everything you need to pull this manifestation off. But there's going to be energies that are going to try and re-engage you in previous cycles, things that you've always known, in order to stop this manifestation from coming through. What do we have, the solar plexus? Wow. 6 of Cups to 7 of Wands. See, and this is interesting because as soon as you see this energy for what it is, let's say call it out, or you just react to it in a way that it's not used to, It goes from this, hey, right, all chummy and trying to be all loving, right, trying to maybe gift you something, to Seven of Wands. How dare you reject me? Who do you think you are? I'm going to knock you down a few pegs. Seven of Wands at the solar plexus. It's like an energy that completely turns on you. It's like in those movies where there's some sort of angelic individual talking to a person and there's something kind of off, you know? Maybe there's a devil tail that's dragging behind them. And all of a sudden, the person says, I know you're not an angel, you're the devil. And boom, they turn into the actual devil. That's like what this energy is here. It's like somebody who's appearing to be an angel, but as soon as you call them out or you protect yourself in some capacity, right? You know, basically saying no to their advances or whatever it may be, the whole entire scene shifts, right? And see, I said scene, right? And I was speaking about how this is like an old movie reel that's just repeating the same scene over and over, and like a haunted movie theater, just skipping, and there you are trapped inside that scene. And now it just turns into an all-out war. Seven of Wands. It's like what was unseen, what you couldn't see behind the scenes is now seen by the way you interact with this energy. You call it out. Now that Seven of Wands is coming out at that solar plexus position. So whatever it is you're trying to manifest here, Spirit is wanting you to understand that this is a path you need to take alone, okay? Don't look for outside validation or any sort of outside support. I feel a lot of you are people that like to have other people's support and you like to bounce ideas off people. And look, sometimes that's okay, but not with this, all right? I always say this, when you're trying to pull through big manifestations, things of this magnitude, you need to understand that most people, if not every single person in your life, has not gone down this path. So they can't give you any advice on what to expect by going down this path, nor should their validation even be of a concern to you because they don't have any sort of point of reference. All of your support you need to rely on from Source, the divine, and the unseen right now. This requires a strength that a lot of you didn't even know you had access to. And now I'm going back to the message that I was speaking about in regards to Superman and the kryptonite. Now, the kryptonite, being something from his home planet, can be speaking metaphorically here in regards to all of you by saying that your kryptonite, right, whatever this is here, is just something that is connected to an older version of you, something you've always known, your home planet, right, your hometown, your family, your old circle, friends, exes, whatever it is. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Cups. And look, see how in this Eight of Cups, he's holding his solar plexus region. And the Eight of Cups is all about moving on from something, just learning from the past that there's nothing here. It's just an old movie reel just playing over and over again in a haunted movie theater. And you are the star of the show. Or, well, you were until now. Yeah, you're manifesting something here, again, and it has to do with the entire foundation of your life. The Queen of Pentacles is an energy of stability, but it's also speaking about your security, your foundation, okay? So there's a huge shift here, and it's all connected to some sort of, well, Ace of Wands, fire energy. This is some sort of new project, some sort of creative passion that you have, I feel. Just some sort of inspiration that you have to do something, to pull something off here. And it requires a lot of courage from you, okay? It could also be a new job or just a whole idea that you have for your life. And then Four of Cups. It's like, here's that energy. Oh, just, here, drink one of these. I mean, here, have a cup. Right? This is this energy here, just trying to keep you in the loop. And look, you're sitting there, you're like, this doesn't feel right. This is not, something's off here. And then here's Pegasus flying through here, right? The divine white horse saying, hey, don't drink that cup. You're destined for something so much better. This is not even a part of your destiny. This is just some old horror movie that these individuals are trying to keep you trapped in. And look, right there, Hangman letting go. And see, as soon as you see this, right? As soon as you realize there's something up and you gain a different perspective by way of spirit, right? Spirit's giving you this different perspective, this different vantage point to be able to see all this, then the mob comes for you. Who do you think you are? We're going to knock you down a few pegs, right? You're like, wow, I've never even looked at it from this angle before. Who are you people? Why are there so many devil's tails dragging behind you? What's going on here? And again, right on the bottom of this deck, 5 of Wands. Okay, so 5 of Wands is all about obstacles and challenges, but this all has to do, it's like there's all this conflict that is coming through now because you're trying to carve out this new path for yourself. A path that, again, no one else has ever gone down. You know, when it comes to spiritual matters, you'd be surprised at how slighted people feel if you're beginning to see an evolution in this area of your life. It makes people feel small. It makes people feel like they've gotten it all wrong, even though you're not even thinking about that. You're not even focused on these people. They think you're all high and mighty. You know, I can't tell you. When I started to go through my big transformation a number of years back, the big one, the first big one where I really started to change a lot of things in my life, the people that I would spend time with, the things I would engage in, all these things, I just started to remove all of them from my life. And the one thing I heard over and over again, honestly, I can't even tell you how many times I heard it was, you've changed. You think you're better than everybody. This is a very common thing that a lot of you, if you haven't already, are going to hear when you're doing this level of work on yourself, okay? It's that I'm going to knock you down a few pegs kind of energy. And it's interesting because it's in a space where you ask yourself, you know, I wonder why they're not just leaving me alone. Like, why the focus on me? I'm not even concerned about what they're doing, right? So there's something much deeper at play there. And when you start to strip away the lack of sight that we have inside the third density, you start to access a deeper understanding as to what it could possibly be. And it has quite a lot to do, if not everything to do, with the different polarities on this planet. See, there's 2 energies that are in constant war at all times, a kind of light and dark. Think about it as yin and yang. It just is what it is. Yin and yang is an energy that needs to remain balanced. If the dark overtakes the light, then we're in big trouble. So the light just works to keep everything in balance so we can continue to exist. And you, being somebody, I just heard a light walker, are inside a reality, no matter how that looks in your everyday waking life, to where you are spreading light in some capacity. Okay. And when you're doing this, all right, I don't care if you're a multimillionaire. I don't care if you're bagging groceries in a grocery store. When you strip away our third dimensional reality, we're all the same. Okay. You could be the richest person in the world, or you could be broke with a mountain of bills, about to lose everything. It doesn't change who you are on a soul level and what you came here to do. If anything, being down and out is a clear indication of just how powerful you truly are. Otherwise, why would there be so much focus inside your reality to hold you down like this? Now, I can't speak for every single person listening because everybody's circumstances is different. But I know that there's people out there inside the collective that shouldn't be in the situation they're in. They don't deserve it, and they probably didn't really do anything to get inside that situation. It just happened. And there's a lot of people that feel confused. Why did this happen? And all I can hope is that this reading and maybe some of my other readings can help spark some sort of light bulb moment for you to understand there's more that can be found at that rock bottom than you think. And a lot of it has to do with, again, is you understanding that you just may be there because of the threatening nature of your destiny in this life cycle. So hopefully, with that in mind, it can spark a bit of a fire up underneath you to do whatever you have to do to turn around your circumstances, and also understand that there's always going to be a way out for you. Okay, and I say this as somebody who's been there. I have been in that rock bottom in my life. And I can tell you, based on my own experience, that it's in those spaces where spirit is closer to you than most. You don't even realize it. Spirit's right there with you, trying to get you to see, trying to get you to ask for the right kind of guidance to help navigate you out of that space you're in. Is it going to take work? No doubt. But it can be done. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. King of Swords, air energy at the heart. So this King of Swords integrates the Ace of Swords as well. And the Ace of Swords is all about mental strength. It's speaking about some sort of new idea. And I feel that no matter where you are in your path right now, Spirit is trying to bring your attention to something. Spirit is trying to show you a way forward. I also heard Spirit is trying to show you how to protect yourself. Now, something I want to say, I'm being guided to say this, but whenever I'm feeling attacked by something external to me that I can't quite put into words, I just have that feeling. Rather than obsess on what that may be, I put all of the focus on areas of my life that I can strengthen, whether it's my own physical being and the physical structure of how I show up in this world, whether it's a mindset that needs to go, a behavioral pattern, maybe something in my diet. There's always going to be something. So take that message where it applies for you. But this King of Swords is also positioned at the heart chakra. Now, this is taking me again back to Superman and the kryptonite. Kryptonite is green, and we have the green heart chakra there. It's just really speaking to me about some sort of deeply embedded subconscious belief systems surrounding who you are that are the direct result of something that has caused some sort of impact damage to you and your auric field on your path. Okay, now this thing or things, it could definitely be more than one. Most of the time it's going to be a whole petri dish of things that are all kind of weaving together to create a kind of web of restriction for you. But whatever it is, this is going to be the catalyst for you accessing this new timeline. See, Spirit began the reading on a high note. Magician, hey, the manifestation's here. And then followed with, but we got some work we got to do. Even though it's right there, we can see it appearing on the horizon line. Anything can happen between now and when that ship docks. It's like this force, however it shows up in your life, knows that the ship is coming. It's like an all-out war sparks, right? It's like the ship can't dock if there's a war taking place. What do we have at the throat, please? Knight of Swords. Air energy at the throat. So King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Now, this is flowing with the message perfectly because the Knight of Swords is really putting a spotlight on these areas of your life that are really being lit up by these transits right now. In other words, these are all the things that Spirit is saying you need to focus on. The things that are the potential cracks, right? We need to stop those cracks from widening. We just need to know they're there. We need to know that there's a little wound there so we can start tending to it, right? So you can still move forward with the cracks as long as you don't let them run deeper, right? That's the key here. You know, when it comes to healing a lifetime of just generational trauma, well, actually, you're not even healing your lifetime. You're healing typically lifetimes before you as well, because that generational trauma is just something that is handed down to you without you being fully aware of it. So this is not something that you can heal overnight. It takes your entire lifetime, okay? So again, they just want me to really keep reiterating that here. You don't have to be perfect. Just be aware of what's going on or motivated to begin working in that space. Now, the Knight of Swords here at this throat position is highlighting something surrounding a mindset, something about how you perceive yourself, a story, I feel, that you may have been led to believe about yourself and your reality that you had no say-so in. You know, typically these are things that are going to run all the way back to our childhood. You're this person, you're this way, and this is what your life is going to look like. A lot of us grew up like this. And our parents grew up like this, and our parents' parents grew up like that. So there's really never going to be one person that can say, take the blame for this. At the end of the day, you have to take all responsibility. I mean, really, that is the only way that you can fully heal, is by shifting all of the responsibility onto you, regardless whether you had a say-so in the matter or not. Because when you become an adult, it's up to you. You're the one who holds the cards. Am I going to keep carrying this with me, waiting for somebody to take responsibility for it? Or am I going to take responsibility for it now and say, hey, you know what? This doesn't belong to me. I'm going to go ahead and just drop this right here. Or I'm going to, yeah, you could take this back, right? So this is another huge part of this. And this also can take time. You know, resentment, bitterness, that's something that will completely rewire you. You know, a lot of the times when we start out on the healing journey, we start out by pinpointing the epicenter of the trauma, and more often than not, there are people involved in that. So working through that space and understanding that you hold the power to either keep carrying that with you or to let go of it is what will make or break you. See, what I'm picking up here are a lot of you are dealing with people, or let's just say energies, okay? Because in a lot of these cases, there's principalities at work here. And what that means is that there's outside forces that are controlling these people to live inside our particular script, let's just say, a particular script inside of your life. Simply put, it's like they don't really have full control over the way they show up in their life because they have bowed down to some sort of supreme being, and it looks a whole lot different than the supreme being that you or I may subscribe to. Let's go ahead and just say that. What you need to understand is that when you are dealing with these sorts of energies that are trying to keep you from making your way towards your destiny, they need you to be stuck inside this sort of victim mindset, right? The loop. The broken film strip, right? They need you stuck inside the scene because it's inside of that space that they can continue to feed off of your light. Right now I'm seeing in my mind's eye this angel trapped inside a cage, shackled down, wings all tattered and worn, and there's all these devilish people just poking sticks at the angel through the bars on their jail cell, yelling obscenities at them, telling them that they're a nobody, that they're a loser, that they'll never achieve this, never achieve that. The angel's completely forgotten that he's an angel. He's got wings. And I'm seeing in my mind's eye specifically 5 people, which leads me to the saying of we are the sum of the 5 closest people to us, right? Now, I've always found this saying to be very profound because it can speak about vibration. You know, when you're dealing with 5 people who are of a very low vibration, they're going to pull you down to that vibration before you lift them up. I don't care who you are, because what you need to understand is it's a lot easier to lower your vibration than it is to raise your vibration, okay? Now, in order for those people to meet you at your vibration, they have to go through all the work you have gone through to get there. And not only could you not even imagine those people doing that, but there's no willingness to even do that on their part. And I'm hearing there's this accumulation of small disruptions that are trying to draw your focus or drain your patience and slow your momentum, right? That one after another. You know, I get it. This can just be the worst when it happens, especially when you are getting so close to pulling something through. But I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it a million times more. This is always a clear indication that there's something coming. So you have to hold the line. You have to be strong. You got to take the hits, okay? Spirit's with you. Spirit's going to help you get through this. But you have to look at it as sort of like turbulence, right? Turbulence that you have to go through until it's clear again on the other side. And it always will be. It's always going to be clear again on the other side. So just stay focused, whatever this is representing for you in regards to your manifestation that you are trying to bring through at current. Okay, and right on the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands. Okay, now the 10 of Wands speaks about the burdens, the energetic baggage. Okay, see how he's put the 10 Wands down? And let's say this is a representative of the divine. They're saying, hey, just hand over those burdens to us. We're going to take care of them for you. And you're like, okay, but I've been carrying this for a lifetime. You know, I feel like I need to keep carrying them. They're like, no. That's just the idea of a reality that they want you to keep engaging in, but it's not real. That's not actually who you're supposed to be. It's an idea of who they think you're supposed to be. And then right underneath it, 2 of Wands, right? See how you put the 10 Wands down and then boom. Now the world's in the palm of your hand. And then there's this energy looking at you like, oh my God, how did they get out of those traps. They put down the burdens. And see, this Two of Wands, this is an energy where you're starting to put together some sort of plan for the future. Okay, this is a power position right here. And then the High Priestess. So this is really highlighting your connection with Source. Okay, this is all about your intuition, divine guidance. Okay, see how the owl is dropping knowledge over your crown chakra there? And it's like you're between worlds. What once was and what is about to be. Wow. Six of Swords. Okay, so the Six of Swords is a rite of passage energy. See how it's like this is the ferryman? And see there's a little boy there? Whenever I see this little boy in a reading like this, that to me, that's you, right? Here you are as an adult. There you are, right? Showing up as the child. It's like that's your inner child, which is a representation of all of this, right? That right there. It's like trying to keep you in a loop with this unhealed inner child. Six of Swords is also an energy of moving on from pain, moving on from heartache. It can speak about moving, relocation, travel, or that could just be the movement of energy, okay? You know, I've been getting a lot of messages in the collective recently as well that I think a lot of you are going to be moving in the next few months. If that resonates with you, okay? If it's something you've been thinking about, then it could just be you're being intuitively guided to make some sort of move because it's going to help with this, okay? Yeah, look at that. Four of Pentacles right on the bottom of this deck. It's like holding on, gripping tightly on something that we have the Death card integrated into the Four of Pentacles here, which is saying that Spirit is trying to bring a death to this, right? A death to this old sort of way of being, right? It's like holding on to something. Being afraid of change is really what it comes down to. Being stuck underneath the black cloud, right? It's time to let go of that space. And this follows what I just said about moving perfectly, whether it's literal relocation, travel for the sake of, I don't know, maybe you need to go jump in an ocean or just get in nature or something. Or it's just all energetic. But if you've been feeling guided to do any of those things and then you hear this, then that's your message. What do we have the third eye, please? Too many cards. I just saw the Three of Swords, so an energy of healing. What do we have at the third eye? Two of Wands again. Wow, from a completely different deck. So I saw the Two of Wands underneath this deck, and then I just switched decks. So here we are now, right? You've let go of all of that baggage, those burdens in that Ten of Wands, and now you're in this Two of Wands energy. And again, this followed what I just said. Two of Wands is one of the cards that represents travel, movement forward. And also Spirit supporting you. I feel like this is you and Spirit. Male or female, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. Genders don't matter here. But it's like Spirit is showing you. Look at what you have access to when you actually set those burdens down, release them because they're not yours to begin with, right? You know, those 10 wands are really just a representation of the accumulation of baggage and trauma in your life. We all have it. And a lot of the times we don't even know how much it's holding us back until we release it. But this for you feels almost instant. It's like you release something and you're given access to something. Okay, I just heard that it's a motivator, right? It's like releasing something from your life that is difficult to release, whatever it may be, and then you instantly feel better or you see a positive change begin to unfold in your life. That's the motivator. Wow, it actually works. I'm going to do more of this. What do we have at the crown, please? Wow. This just followed what I said. The Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy at the crown. The Tower is an energy that is bringing a destruction to any sort of false securities in your life. It is the revelation. This is the wake-up call. This is the sudden change. followed what I just said perfectly. It's like you release something and then boom, there's a complete shift. See, this would be a really great representation of the energy right now. This is what's really this is the kind of potent energy we're dealing with, where subtle changes can bring forward huge elevations right now. That's the energetic wave that the transits are bringing through right now. And this is what you would benefit from riding the crest of, right? Riding the crest of that wave. Don't sit around just waiting for things to show up without taking action, because you're going to miss out. Take action on areas of your life that maybe you've been putting off, and that's how you're going to bring through the changes for yourself. Spirit says to you, hey, we got something here for you, but this has got to go. This needs to be addressed, whatever it is. So go ahead and take care of that, and then we got you. This is the energy that you are all in right now. So take advantage of it. You know, as I'm looking at this tower, I'm thinking about what I said here, right? Keep going back to this. It's like a scene in a horror film, right? Just keeps playing over and over again, right? And then right here, it's like this is the destruction of that. See how there's bats there? And then there's people here. It's like these people are representing whoever it was that was working to keep you engaged inside of this energy. It's like there's a complete destruction. You blow it up. It's like this is the horror house. Yeah, I just heard, it's like they want to keep you trapped inside a bad dream. What do we have at the foundation, please? Wow. Knight of Swords, air energy at the foundation. So we have that twice. Now, this Knight of Swords from this deck is an energy that is not only very sneaky, but it's an energy of deliberate cruelty, okay? It's an energy that knows what they're doing, and they do it anyway. It's like here you are in high manifestation mode, right? All these people watching, they're like, oh my God, look at the magic. You're like, yes, yes, gather around. I have more where that came from. And then this energy here is sneaking up like, I'll take that from you. But see how I mentioned that it's got this sneaky sort of vibe to it, right? See, it shows up like this, like, oh, hey, you know, I got this cup, flowers for you. And you're like, oh, it's nice. But you already have some, right? I guess just put it up there with all the other ones. See, you can only run these cycles so many times with people before you're like, what is going on here? Something's not right. Sometimes it takes years to see this clearly because you have to also understand that there's something taking place behind the scenes, energetically, spiritually. See, because we live inside this third density, which, like I mentioned, doesn't allow us to fully, well, we can't see what's really taking place. We can only see what our limited perception allows us to see. Now, with this in mind, it makes it very difficult to actually understand or even believe that any of this is possible, right? But if you begin to look at the patterns that are undeniable, you'll start to see that there's something not only cyclical taking place there, but there's a design to it. There's a familiarity. There's something similar each time it happens. Now, I can go into a very expansive explanation of that, but I feel that that's enough to give all of you something to work with, okay? Look for the subtleties, look for the glitches, and that's all of our own matrix, that illusion, that lie, that broken film strip, that repeating scene inside our own little horror movie, that bad dream. There's an off button to all of that, and you actually have access to it because it can be found within your perception and what you decide and perceive to be true. Sometimes you just need to take a chance because you've tried every other way. Now, why not go down the path that you always thought impossible or the least likely of outcomes, because I bet if you go down there, you're going to find a way through. Right on the bottom of the deck, we have, wow, Temperance. Okay, so the Temperance from this deck is an energy that speaks about outside disruptions. It's a very chaotic energy. It's something that is doing this on purpose, right? And I mentioned already in the reading that you have to understand that this is all happening for a reason. I mentioned that no matter how down and out you are, or the challenging hand that life may be dealing with you, I promise you that there's a reason. There always is. And you have the keys to that. You can do something about it. They'll want you to think you can't. It's typically the first step you got to take is overcoming the mental construct that tells you that you can't, but you can. I'm telling you, you can. What do we have? The sacred, please. Death. Lilith. Right at the sacral. Right underneath that Six of Cups as well. So this is very interesting. Okay, Death, Scorpio energy. Now, the Death card from this deck. See, Death is actually a very positive card in the tarot. It speaks about transformation. Death to the old. Okay, it's the simplest way of putting it. But from this deck, it's speaking about an energy that is trying to hold you back from transforming, right? From moving on, from this kind of rebirth that you're preparing to have. And this Lilith energy underneath this Six of Cups is really highlighting this dark feminine energy. Now, whether you're dealing with a male or female, it doesn't matter. It's just an energy. And I feel that the dark feminine energy could be directly connected to the unhealed traumas, right? It's like it's trying to exacerbate that energy. But it shows up like this, right? Oh, hey. But underneath the surface, it's this. It's just waiting to kill, steal, and destroy. And for some, it's not just somebody external to you, it's a part of you. It's a part of you that needs to be healed, transmuted. And it's right there at that sacral chakra. So, I'm picking up on something overactive here with the sacral chakra, okay, for a lot of you. Especially with this Lilith energy. This can be an energy that's very hedonistic, very overly emotional, or being too fixated on the tactile elements of this third density. Let's just go ahead and say that, okay? Now, that can mean a lot of different things, but whatever it is, it's something that's in direct opposition with your highest potential. It's like the shadow aspects of you are holding on to your ankles while you're trying to move forward, trying to pull you back, right, into a cycle here. Because in order to bring forward this manifestation, like we mentioned, there's things that need to be sacrificed. Spirit saying, hey, we got this here for you. You're good to go, but you need to address this, right? Yeah, I just heard for some of you, this is a life that you've always known that just simply cannot coexist with this energy. Simply put, it's like Spirit saying to you, hey, look, we know you want this and we want to give it to you, okay, because you've been working hard for it, but there's a few other things that have got to go. There's a few other things that have to be addressed. So what's more important to you? A life that you've always known that is no longer resonating with you and the person that you have since evolved into, or this manifestation? This is your dreams realized, and this is always going to cost you your old life. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? 9 of Pentacles, Virgo energy underneath that 7 of Wands. Okay, so the 9 of Pentacles here is really speaking about everything that's holding you back. It's so interesting because I feel like you're showing up here with all of this baggage from the past, not realizing that this has to go. And, I mentioned that as soon as you say no, right? The 6 of Cups turns into the 7 of Wands. It's like an all-out war. I feel that there's a second layer with this 9 of Pentacles. Not only is this something you see within people, but you also start to see that when you release the behavioral patterns or, just whatever it is you're trying to take with you, this also happens. Or it can also be the parts of your life that are trying to keep you trapped. This can also be directly connected to materials in your life as well. It's like spirit needing you to simplify some things or release some things. That's going to speak to some of you out there. It almost gives an energy of downsizing to level up. But whatever the case, it's going to be people, it's going to be mindsets, it's going to be behavioral patterns, it's going to be subtle little things that don't seem like they matter, but they really do in the grand scheme of things, because you need to think about them in terms of the energy that they bring into your life. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the devil, Moloch, right? I always get a kick out of this devil card because it's like he's waving to you, right? He's like, see ya. It's been fun. I knew you'd get out of here someday. It's like that devil is just what all of this energy adds up to. What do we have at the heart, please? Wheel of Fortune, Sag energy at the heart. It says right here, relationship strife. Now, this Wheel of Fortune really talks about some sort of negative external forces that are trying to keep you stuck in a rut. So it's really just adding to all of this here, okay? The Wheel of Fortune is an energy of, your Wheel of Fortune, okay? It speaks about your destiny, good karma, new life cycles. It's an energy of awakening. But from this deck, it's all the opposite. It's an energy that's in direct opposition from your Wheel of Fortune turning. Really the perfect card to get here, because we're seeing how all of this adds up to this. And see, this is what King of Swords with the Ace of Swords integrated, this is what Spirit is trying to illuminate to you. This is what Spirit wants you to see. And see how you're reaching for the sword? It's like you're getting ready to eradicate that from your life. The Ace of Swords right there is an energy of victory, raw power. And the King of Swords is the energy that is harnessing the strength to be able to wield the sword. You are the King of Swords. So you're thinking clearly. You're understanding that there's a strategy here that you must follow to be able to pull this through. And then we have the Five of Swords. It says right there, desire to know. Okay, so Aquarius energy. Now, the Five of Swords is an energy that's speaking about you needing to terminate or end some sort of unhealthy relationships in your life, get over the past resentment, and be open to change. It's like Spirit is showing you these energies loud and clear. It's like they've been caught. For you not to act upon this now after seeing this, intuiting this as clearly as you have, you would be doing yourself a great disservice. You also asked, I feel, a lot of you. It says right there, desire to know. I'm seeing somebody in my mind's eye on their hands and knees by their bed praying for protection. See, it's interesting because maybe you prayed for protection and now Spirit is showing up here, showing you very clearly how to protect yourself. Saying, hey, we're going to show you what you need to do in your everyday waking life that allows us to come through and protect you. See, because of your free will, you have to move in a very specific way. If you're allowing these energies to keep draining you and doing what they're doing, you're telling Source and Spirit and the universe, you're good. You're good where you're at. So Spirit's standing there like, okay, you have free will. We can't help you unless you move like you want us to help you. I think that's pretty clear. What do we have to the throat, please, Spirit? Ten of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to read this in... I usually only read this deck as uprights, despite how they fall out, but I'm going to read it in both polarities because it's touching on something that we've already spoken about. We've already seen a Ten of Wands in this spread underneath one of the decks. And the fact that it fell out like this, it's telling me, see, it wasn't all the way in reverse. It's like it's halfway. It's telling me that the wheel is turning. You're making the changes. The Ten of Wands from this deck is speaking about a liberation. It's like you've let go of the burdens now. You've taken all responsibility for every single area of your life. Let me repeat that. Taken all responsibility for every single area of your life. That is the ultimate power move, no matter what you have been through. As soon as you do this, things just begin to change. No, you're not taking away the things that may have happened to you. Okay, this isn't about that. It's about giving yourself access to the ultimate power of the universe that no matter what may have happened, you are going to be the one that changes it from this moment forward. This is your ultimate freedom. And it's also right underneath that Knight of Swords, which, as we mentioned, is the energy of some sort of change. See, right here, you're being guided to make these changes, and now here, you've made the change. And of course, the Ten of Wands, as we mentioned earlier on in the reading, is that energy of burdens, but you're letting go of the burdens, right? The wheel is turning. And see, here you are, free, light as a feather, right? What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Perfect. Page of Pentacles. Earth energy at the third eye. Fix that a little bit. Now, the Page of Pentacles represents the first step of manifestation. And what a card to get after all of this, because this is the vision of your manifestation, right? Like we said, Spirit gave it to you right out the gates. But there's some things that need to be addressed. So here you are, going through this spiritual war in your life, and now you've freed yourself from this energy, and you take the first step toward this manifestation. The Page of Pentacles is the necessary action that you need to take to be able to pull through this manifestation. It's an energy of practicality. It's also an energy of seeking abundance, which is the ultimate vision you have, right? See, this is the ultimate vision. Right here, you're holding the vision. And see how you have a little piccolo right there? It's like there's this more balanced, peaceful energy that you're in. And you're showing up as, well, it's like a childlike energy. I just heard before the storm. Interesting. I was getting ready to say, and then that came through, but okay, I see what they're trying to say now. The storm is just supposed to be a representation, a metaphorical representation of the storms of your life, the traumas, everything, right, that you've gone through. It's like you're incarnated into this life cycle. You show up as an innocent child, and then you're just bombarded by the matrix of your life. But now you have let go of all those energies, transmuted them, gotten on the path to healing them, right? Just seeing where the cracks are, not allowing them to spread any further because you've put that metaphorical tourniquet on them. And now you're back to this childlike energy. On a new cycle. It's like this is a whole new cycle you're beginning now. Pages represent new, right? It's a new beginning. And this Page of Pentacles here is a direct representation, again, of whatever it is you guys are trying to manifest, okay? A business opportunity, a new job, a project, a change in your circumstances, whatever it is, this speaks about all of it. But it feels, Pentacles represent the material side of our reality. So it definitely feels like something material. It's something that you can see. And even if it's not speaking about something that you could see at first, it's something that begins to show. Very interesting. Maybe a mindset, a behavioral pattern that you eradicate from your energy then has a positive influence on how your life looks as a whole. It could also speak about the way you perceive your reality, perception. Okay, Spirit, what do we have at the crown to close out this reading, please? Wow. 7 of Cups, Scorpio energy at the crown, a Sheila. Now, see how you're holding the sand clock there, right? Remember how I said earlier on in the reading, you are the keeper of time? It's like here you are, you're like, wait, you mean I control the time here? I even control divine timing? The divine's like, well, yeah, because it's all based on your perception and how you interface with your reality, which controls the higher mechanics of your life. You are the center of your own universe. So even when it comes to divine timing, you ultimately hold the keys. It's all based, really, on what you decide to do and not do in your everyday waking life with the countless options that you are given with every single breath you take. Each one of those decisions and options that you have access to, whatever that means for you, is going to align you with a different outcome, which is what signals us to make moves for you behind the scenes. The great illusion of this world, which this is going to speak about the other side of this 7 of Cups, is that we have no control, which couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, we live in a reality that seemingly makes it feel like we have very little control over anything, especially this day and age, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of patience with yourself, it takes a lot of courage and strength, but it's certainly possible. And a lot of the things that are holding us back is the fact that we're all interfacing with these societal norms or what we think is expected of us, which can be incredibly deceiving and ultimately keep us from our highest potential. We're limiting ourselves based on an idea of how we think we are supposed to exist in this world. And it looks a whole lot like moving with a herd of sheep. This reading here, it's profound. There's a lot of insight here. It speaks about spiritual warfare and how you very much have more control over this than you realize. You are being guided right now to arm yourself spiritually by way of the decisions you make today to self-empower and take complete control over your life so you can step directly in to your destiny and the ultimate vision that you hold for your life. You are all a part of a spiritually armed force that is spread out like a web throughout the collective. Each one of you is more important than you can possibly begin to understand. But if you just take the necessary actions inside your own reality, you will be helping the collective at large and the other light walkers to help bring through all of your own personal evolutions as well as a collective evolution. You are the spiritually armed forces, and the divine is calling upon you to step into your allocated positions. All right, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. If you would like to support my channel, there are a few ways that you can go about doing this. Of course, donations are always greatly appreciated, and I would like to extend my gratitude to everybody who continues to donate to my channel. I also have my channel memberships open. It's $2.99 a month. I upload additional readings there that are not available on the public side of my platform. You can also visit my online store where I have a number of things I've designed myself, which are all extensions of my videos on my channel here. The graphics, the subject matter, and the overall creative universe that I feel is my channel. And I would like to extend my gratitude to everybody who's already gone there and made purchases. Information for personal readings can also be found in the description down below. But lastly, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you. So please leave me a comment and or a heart in the comment section, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.